What it do? Dream Team, it's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, back with our guy Mr. Isaac Butterfield. American comedian destroys Australia. I know he's not having that. Before we jump in, make sure you guys subscribe, ring the notification bell, get the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. And we skipped up a second ahead so we don't have to bleep out the word mother effers. So give this video a tiny bit more chance of not being demonetized. So here we go, Isaac, take it away.
My name's Isaac Butterfield, welcome to the channel, I hope you're doing not bad. It seems Americans like picking on Australians as much as Joe Biden likes sniffing kids. Okay, maybe no one likes...
Well, I love Isaac Butterfield, dog.
anything that much, but you do you, baby Joe, you do you. I feel like the land of the free and the home of the brave are a little bit shitty at the moment. Maybe it's because of all the lockdowns, there's not as many kids at school, so therefore there's not as many school shootings, they're just not feeling themselves. Maybe, just maybe, with the lack of extremely peaceful riots in America, don't we miss them?
Oh my God!
Americans are getting a bit of the old itchy feet and they feel like they need to take their anger out against us poor little Australians. We're just trying to live our best lives. We're just trying to travel via kangaroo to save the planet. We're just trying to live in peace, be a good country and have our daily khaki minute of silence in honour of Steve Irwin. We're just trying to hunt.
One of the greatest human beings to ever walk the planet Earth. R.I.P. to the great Steve Irwin, man. Loved him. Watched him every chance I could get on Animal Planet, dog.
Drop bears like fucking Rambo to keep you tourists safe. We're just good, simple folk. We tend to our farms, we look after our flock, and we raise our barns. And then you fucking Americans come out and think you can talk shit. Well, fucking not anymore, you hot dog sucking off bastards. This all comes after an American comedian said some horrifying things about our great nation. Some indefensible things that I must address. But first, some good news. Australian children's cartoon Bluey, which was first developed by Australian spies in the 70s to change the language of foreigners to make them sound more Aussie, which is a part of the world domination plan put forward by Steve Irwin in the early 90s. We've had our first scalp. Australian cartoon Bluey is so popular overseas that American kids have started speaking with Aussie accent, as if that's not the most fantastic news of all time.
Bluey is so freaking popular over here, goddamn. Everybody watch Bluey. Everybody watches Bluey. Dang, it got American. I guess if I grew up watching Bluey, I'd probably try speaking with Australian accent too, because who doesn't want to speak with Australian accent? It's one of the dopest accents out there. But dang, y'all taking over America, Australia. This is step one, is it? Step one, taking over America. Okay, I see you. I see you.
Mr. Margarina said even his 4-year-old daughter quickly understood the cartoon's unique Aussie phrases and had started calling breakfast brekkie. A few terms that would be Australian slang have been picked up by my daughter, he told ABC Breakfast. She also tells me once in a while that she needs to go to the dunny. Dunny meaning toilet. Good shit, that's pretty cute. But it didn't stop there. I actually contacted the family and it turns out she said some more things since. These may or may not be quotes from her daycare. You want to go, she said after someone took her blocks. Who the fuck took me fucking durries, you dog? When someone took her durries at daycare. And the just gorgeous way she said this. When asked about the moisture levels in the brownies that the class made, she said, they're dry as a nun's. I, for one, am proud to be an Aussie. Right, let's talk about the bloke, the comedian that came out and said these horrible things about Australia that we need to address right now. His name is Tim Dillon. So let's see what Tim said. Tim? Actually, I'm going to allow the crime-fighting reporters over at the Daily Mail to tell us exactly what Tim did wrong. American comedian jokes Australians love lockdowns because they're lazy descendants of criminals who don't want to work and restrictions aren't that bad because they just want to get hammered in their backyards. How dare you, Tim? How dare you be so fucking correct?
Have I been so offended by something I 100% agree with.
If you didn't know, Australia is currently in a state of perpetual lockdowns because the Australian government wants to keep coronavirus cases to zero, which is just fucking ridiculous. It's like being in a house that's on fire and you hide in a room for a little while and there's no smoke and you're like, yay, there's no smoke, and then smoke starts getting in, so you freak out. Rather than just accepting the fact that the house is on fire, we go find another room that we sit in for a little bit and go, well, there's no fire in here, we're safe, oh no, the smoke's back, and we keep doing this for fucking 18 months. And the horrible thing about that is so many people have lost their incomes, lost their jobs, lost their ability to make money for their family and pay their bills. And I really, truly feel so sorry for some of those people out there, you guys who have lost money or the ability to pay your bills, or you haven't been able to afford things, or maybe you've lost your...
That truly sucked here in America as well. So many people lost their income, and that legit truly sucked, and I hated that. I had like legit left my one job like perfect timing before like the COVID lockdowns and stuff happened. And I slid into another job that paid us while we just worked from home. But the job I had before that was like a catering job, so you can't work from home. You have to show up, and I left at perfect timing. But yeah, it sucked knowing so many people out there lost their jobs due to the virus and lost their income.
Your home. I'm so sorry to those people. Except, of course, for real estate agents. If that happened to you, then fuck you to the moon. Finally, you're the one getting fucked out of money, you money-hungry, bond-keeping c***. An American comedian joked Australians like lockdown because they're perpetually lazy descendants of criminals who don't want to work. Tim Dillon, 36, targeted Australians in his latest podcast when talking about the pandemic and mocking lockdowns in force across the country. Why include his age in that? Why is that important? What does that have to do with anything? You may as well just describe his cock length. Why didn't you just have that? Tim Dillon, 8 inches, but sadly only 1 inch in girth, had this to say. It's got fucking nothing to do with it. So they kick up a big stink over Tim Dillon. Now, this will become quite obvious throughout the video, but if you don't know, I love Tim Dillon. He's fucking amazing. So, you know, this video is actually just about the Daily Mail being a bunch of shit dogs. So they crack it at Tim, and if you go read their comments in the comment section on Facebook and stuff,
is he really
people are just
wrong,
like,
though?
it's a joke, you fucking idiots.
Yeah,
but we know that the Daily Mail doesn't understand humour, and they don't like comedians. Here's an example. Memories. I don't think I'll ever forget those death threats. Thanks, guys. Anyway, let's go to Tim's podcast and watch him spew this ugly, disgusting, probably racist rant about us poor Australians.
Australia has like 12 cases, and they are literally like chaining people.
Yeah.
But Australians like that.
So as I said before, we went into lockdown, and I was against it. I didn't think it was the right move. But then I realised that, if they want to get it to zero, they may as well just lock everything down straight away on day one, as soon as one prick started sneezing.
That was very smart, because you saw the statistics of what happened over here in America when we didn't go into lockdown like other countries did. We had the most amount of COVID cases in the world, the most amount of COVID-related deaths in the world. And it's probably because we refused to follow rules here. We refused to go on lockdown. We refused to, half of us refused to believe that the virus was a real thing. So, yeah.
Or cough it. But they didn't, and now when you're walking around in Australia, if you're walking your dog, you have to wear a mask. If you're running, you have to carry papers with you to show where you live. It's getting a bit fucking weird. And I know people are like, so what, that doesn't hurt you if you have to show your ID wherever you are in the... I know it doesn't right now, but it's the laws that they bring in during times of tragedy. Look at 9/11, look at now. The laws that they bring in that they may be able to, and I don't think they will, but they may be able to abuse in the future.
They don't mind. They trust the government. They like the government. The government's been good to Australians. Australians are simple people. All they really want to do is get drunk and grill. That's really it.
Fucking spot on. At this point, he hasn't told a lie. He knows more about my culture than I do.
All they want to do is get hammered in their backyards and put meat on a grill. There's nothing wrong with that. People are asking, why aren't Australians angry about this? They're perpetually lazy descendants of criminals. All they want to do, when you tell them not to work, they go, all right. and that's it.
I wouldn't say lazy, Tim. We're not lazy people. We just have like
Yeah.
3 hours once or twice a week where we're fucking on fire and we get everything done. But yeah, after that, we're pretty
There you
fucking
go.
lazy. Thanks, Tim.
Everyone's like, why aren't they going nuts over this lockdown? I'm like, this is the best case scenario for them. They don't have to work.
And for many people, this was the attitude in the first lockdown. During the first
Yeah.
lockdowns here in Australia, and I don't know how it was in other parts of the world, I know it wasn't like this in America, but we were basically getting paid to stay at home, almost our entire wage. So no wonder when the pandemic stopped being as bad as it was, or as infectious as it was in Australia, that we didn't want to go back to work. Particularly young
Yeah.
people who were probably getting paid more from government assistance than they would if they were working at their jobs. People just didn't want to go back to work, and you can't blame them. But now there's less
Nope.
financial help, and everyone's a little bit shittier.
Australia expands COVID lockdown over concerned virus has spread from Sydney.
Some of these cities have locked down with no cases. Just
Yeah.
to-
Why? They don't care. Lock it down. Foster's, Australia.
He said, lock it down. They don't drink Fosters, though. They don't do Fosters, Tim. You got to learn that about Australia. They absolutely hate it. But this is crazy. Being on lockdown was chill for me, but like I said, so many other people lost out due to places starting to close down and places not making as much money, have to let go of employees. So that part really sucked.
For beer. Lock it down. They don't give a fuck.
Now that's fucking offensive, Tim. No motherfucker here drinks Foster's at all.
told you.
I love beer, and I've never allowed that fucking drip to hit my lips ever in my entire life. So unless there's a lucrative fucking brand deal from Foster's, fuck Foster's. Foster's is about as Australian as not having skin cancer. Foster's is about as Australian as having a big sesh at the pub with all your mates and then not boxing on with your missus. It's just not Australian.
No work? It's no work, huh? All right. Sounds good. Yeah, just let me know when they need me back. I don't know. I coughed earlier. I'll just stay home.
I said, I don't know, I coughed earlier. I'll just stay home. Bro, every little cough, everybody, hey, you cough one little time, everybody looking at you weird. They looking at you up and down like, we need to get away from you. You wasn't allowed to cough. You wasn't allowed to have a congested nose. Bro, you wasn't allowed to do nothing that was any tiny, itsy bitsy side of a freaking virus.
I try to do an Australian. It's hard because it becomes British.
Other than the English twang, pretty fucking spot on, Tim. Well done. To wrap this video up, I'd just like to say, fuck the Daily Mail to the moon and Tim Dillon for president. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Meat stinks. Keep it moist. Toodle au revoir. Bye-bye.
He said Tim for president. That's all we got, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. It's your boy D Neal. Out.